Welcome to the Trading Bell. I'm Noah Kipkemboy, and today we dig into the history, where we're coming from as the capital markets, where we are and where we are heading. And we shall be having a very enlightening conversation with Mr. Bob Karina, who is experienced in the market. I mean, the name speaks for itself. So before we do much, let's take a look at his profile. Bob Karina has been the vice chairman of the NSE board since March 21st, 2012. He is the founder and chairman of FIDA Investment Bank. He is an accomplished stockbroker, corporate finance specialist, and research analyst. He served as the chairman of Association of Kenya Stockbrokers Nominees Limited. He's the founder member of the Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts. He played a critical role in the establishment of the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation, the NSE Automated Trading System, the Wide Area Network, and the Broker Back Office. He also serves as the chairman of Norwich Union Properties Limited. He's the chair of Rwanda Stock Exchange, a board member of the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation, a director of Kenya Industrial Estates. He has also served as director of Kenya Private Sector Alliance and Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you, Mr. Bob, for joining us right here on Trading Bell. Let's dig into history, because history is very important for every person. We have to understand where it comes from. You've worn the red jacket. Right now you're in a red tie, red jackets. Back then when, stockbroking was different. Explain to us where we're coming from as the capital markets in Kenya.
Okay, thank you, Noah. Let me start the way back when the stock market started. The stock market in Kenya started in 1954 as a voluntary organization, and it was registered under the Societies Act. Then one of the brokers then, called Francis Drummond, and the governor of Kenya, met and approached London Stock Exchange to accept that we start a market in Kenya. In 1954 they accepted, and we started the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which was in supervision of the London Stock Exchange. So that continued, and maybe to many people's surprise, Africans and Asians were not allowed to trade in the stock market. It was only Europeans who were settlers here or anywhere else who could trade in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. In 1963, we got our independence. And that is when the Africans and Asians now could trade. The Nairobi Stock Exchange name then changed in 2011 to Nairobi Securities Exchange.
Yes.
But prior to that, maybe it would be good to also know that we didn't have the CDSC, that is the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation,
yes,
which came in 2004. And what that did was it discontinued the use of the share certificates. Many of the young people like you, maybe you may not know, we used to use share certificates to trade,
yes,
whereby you had to produce it, take it to the broker, it is verified at the registrar, confirmed, and then you trade. That process was lengthy, it will take time, and therefore the trading was slow, because you want to trade today, but you can't trade because your documents are not through. It will take days to go to the registrar, coming back. Probably the documents are not verified properly. You have to go back. So it could take even a month before you sell. So now, 2006, we brought in the automated trading system. And I was privileged to have been the chair of the implementation committee that brought about the CDSC and also the automated trading system, which therefore now remove the previous activities of writing or wearing the red jackets and giving your prices on the board. You see, before the 8 years, there was this system called open outcry, where you would see in the background of the exchange people fighting to give a price.
Yes.
So the loudest would be heard by the board writer to put the price. So if you are soft, maybe your price is not taken because it's the price that is hard clearly that is put on the board. Now, that was eliminated by the automated trading system.
Wow.
So the automated trading system was started in 2006, and it was done under local area network, the LAN. And what happened, the trading floor then was at the nation center. And that's where we had the machines, the computers, and every broker would send their trading dealer to the floor to come and now trade within the floor, but on machines. You see now the good thing with the automated trading system, you key in your orders, and depending on how fast you hit submit, that's when the order appears on the screen, and now it is queued that way. The one who keys in faster, then if you are putting the same price, you follow that queue. If you are selling or buying, whichever side it is. So that continued, and then in 2007, which was the year after, we brought in the wide area network and broker back office system, whereby now the brokers, dealers, moved from the trading floor at the nation center and went to their offices, where now you could trade stocks from your own offices, and therefore it helped by the fact that now we discongested the stock exchange. However, the trading floor remained for a while, and even today you can still come and trade here at the exchange here, so that if anybody had issues trading with their systems, they could use the trading floor as the alternative trading machine. So there are a number of computers that were kept for any eventuality in case you are not able to use the system. So that now continued, and that's where we are up today. We trade from our offices. So that is the background of the stock exchange.
Oh, that's interesting. You know, these are things that we see in movies, people shouting numbers. And maybe the new gen can't relate to that because people are trading at the comfort even of their phones these days.
Yes, that's the current trend right now, where now we have the technology has gone beyond such that now, for instance, you see, like now, because of now the ATS and the coming up of the improvements in and developments in technology, we are now able to trade anywhere in the world from the comfort of your phone, your house. You'll be driving or something, you want to make a trade, you send through the phone. Some of few brokers or investment banks have introduced apps within their organizations, like I come from FIDA Investment Bank. We have FIDA M Trader, which it's free to download from either iOS or Android, and then it will take you through the steps on how to register, and then you can trade as long as you have an account. It also helps you open an account from the firm that we want to engage in. As long as you have the funds, it will allow you to trade from wherever you are. And you see now that one is making the trading faster, and people don't have to travel, and also it helps, especially like now when we have the COVID. So you don't have to go anywhere. The NSE has an NSE application which connects members, trading members, through the app, or even individuals to access even the brokers from the NSE application. So technology has really gone far and ahead, and therefore we are taking advantage of that, and it is helping to have more liquidity in the market.
Yes, definitely. And even that talks about liberalizing the market, having more people involved. Especially in our context, Kenyan context, where we see in our capital markets, majority of the people who are putting money, they are not locals. There's been that drive to make sure even that person with 1,000 shillings can think about putting money into the capital markets. How has that been, that evolution of liberalizing the market?
Okay, to start with, there has been a lot of education that has been initiated by the NSE and also the Capital Markets Authority to try and encourage our retail investors to get into the market. You know, in the olden days, or when we had a lot of IPOs, we were selling the IPOs to the public, and then anybody who applies would get the shares. So what would happen is you'd have a minimum number of shares that every shareholder should get. If there is a lot of subscription or of a subscription, every applicant would get shares. So, which is contrary to a country like Egypt. A country like Egypt, what they do, they have this quantity of shares to be sold. They divide them into two categories: retail and institutional, qualified institutional investors. So let's say like they could say like 60% goes to the retail, 40% goes to institutional investors, the high net worth and the like. Then they put a price for the retail investors. And then they say the shares will sell for 10 days from 1st to 10th, and they put them in a central database. As you sit in a broker's office, you see a ticker as the shares are coming down, as people are buying. So you're watching and you haven't been reached. You could be sitting there and the shares are finished.
Yes.
You see, which is different, meaning whoever buys takes the shares, which is different from here in Kenya, where the applications are sent to everyone. Whoever applies will definitely get shares. This is really deepening the market. But there, it means that people are knowledgeable of the capital markets. They know they are good shares. You buy if you want. If you don't, it's okay. Then on the reverse, on the qualified institutional investors in like Egypt, they don't put a price. So the retail, they could put a price like less 10 shillings per share. In the qualified institutional investors, they put, this is the quantity we are selling to institutionals, you bid. And they start filling the purchases from the highest bidder. Meaning if it is selling 10 shillings to the retail, the rest of the applicants, the qualified, could bid 60 shillings, and they fill from there. The highest bidder gets. So it ends up when the share is closed, the price starts high, because the institutional investors usually bid higher than the retail price so that they can get the shares.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting comparison.
Yeah, different from what we have here.
Definitely. And I also understand you're part of developing the Rwanda exchange. What has been the lessons, especially transitioning, NSE?
From here to Rwanda?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say, yes, we have an associate company which is called Securities, Rwanda. It was the first brokerage to be registered in Rwanda in 2007. We went there because the person who was developing or who started the Rwanda's capital market was a Kenyan. And he was called Robert Matthew. When he went there, he was given the responsibility to establish a stock market in Rwanda. Actually, he had come from Dar es Salaam. He's the same person who started the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange and Uganda Stock Exchange. He was formerly an employee of Nairobi Securities Exchange. So he was called there to come and help establish Dar es Salaam, Uganda, and Rwanda. Now, when he went to Rwanda, we talked and he told me, Bob, here there is an opportunity, you come. So I went there in 2007 and registered the company, and they promised us that there will be many companies from the government that would be listing on the exchange. That was 2007, December. He said by June 2008, we would have companies listed. Now, nothing happened in 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011, after 4 years. And I'm in Rwanda. Not physically, but I have a company there that when they brought in their first company, which is Bralirwa. It's a breweries company that bottles Coca-Cola products, that's Fanta and the like, and also produces beer for the local market. That was the first company to be listed on the stock exchange. Now, by that time, we were like 6 brokers who had started operations in Rwanda, but nothing happened. But because of that, we were lucky because the Rwanda Stock Exchange felt, for having stayed and being resilient and waiting this long, we got shareholding in the stock exchange in Rwanda. Each one of us, a 10% shareholding, each one of us at a small token, which we appreciated. Now, because of me having the experience of the Nairobi, I became a board member, and actually I was appointed the vice chairman of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. And I have served from 2012 up to now in the Rwandan market as the vice chairman. And this year I was actually made the chairman of Rwanda Stock Exchange. And so I have used the experience I have in Nairobi here to try and help them develop the markets there. Definitely. They currently have about 10 companies, and half of those are from outside. And then this year we cross-listed a company from Johannesburg called RHB Bopelo. It's a health company that deals with owning hospitals and the like. So they felt like they would like to get into the market in Rwanda, so becoming like the 10th company to get there. So, but that we did through also FAIDA, and therefore we felt at least we had the privilege of bringing a South African company into the market in Rwanda. So I've been involved in Rwandan market, and I continue.
Yes.
And it's good to see it grow from where it was.